So yes, I did learn portrait drawing in 5 years, but I've always loved to draw since I was a kid. Unfortunately, I don't have my really old drawings. I don't know where they are, to be honest, but these are my beginnings. When I started drawing, I started with cartoon characters. I hated coloring, so my sister is the one who colored some of these, and I remember being so proud of them. I even used to share them on Facebook, which is where I collected some of these to put them here. I remember how hard it was drawing this. It was a bed, and I was 10. And here I was very proud of the hair curls and the hand. I mean, look at that. Okay, this was the first time I experienced shading. I like the idea of it, and I really still love these so much. And I remember struggling with drawing the second eye here. Okay, now this is the second phase I had, 3D drawing. This was my first 3D drawing. I remember being amazed by how simple it was to draw, but how cool it looked in the picture. I even got some of these printed for a school fair. So yeah, I liked it and I kept doing more. All of these were from YouTube tutorials. I used to play the video and draw with them step by step. But of course, not all of them were major successes, but I shared them anyway. Maybe I liked 3D drawing because it relied heavily on shading, and I really liked shading. Being able to create these with just a pencil or maybe a marker, I thought it was cool, and I still do think that. They were so fun to draw, as you can see. This was a challenge with a friend and I failed miserably. And here I kept adding lines until I ruined it, I don't know what that was. And here we have a floating bowl that I thought looked really good. I hated this guitar so much, and I still do. I liked using a roller to create stuff like that, so I focused on drawing stairs. I loved drawing stairs so much, maybe too much. But every time I tried to draw something different, but the theme is the same, which is stairs. But I really loved them. I thought they looked really cool. And I'm sure you noticed that I used to sign my drawings by me, which was so stupid. Please ignore that. Okay, this is absolutely my favorite 3D drawing. I love it so much. It looks so good. Unfortunately, I can't find the original drawing because I moved around a lot and I lost it. At least I have a print though. Now my third and last phase, portraits. I used to think I got the whole drawing thing figured out, so I drew this without using a reference. And this one too, but I was wrong. You might see a big jump here. Well, yeah, 15-year-old me was really embarrassed by my first couple of portraits, so I threw them away and deleted the pictures. I wish I had them though. I used to watch YouTube videos and draw with them step by step. This was supposed to be a portrait of Angelina Jolie. Drawing portraits to me was like learning how to draw all over again. It's a whole new world, but I loved it. After learning from YouTube, I used to use other artists' drawings as a reference because it was so hard for me to use a real picture. I gave this for a friend that liked Jack Sparrow, thinking I nailed that. So yeah, I've always been proud of my drawings. No matter what I create, I always loved it. This drawing was one of my favorite drawings back then because I remember everybody else liking it too. And here I noticed some improvement. It was the most detailed drawing I did back then, and it took me a long time to finish, so I was super proud of it. Okay, and after this, I was sure I don't want to draw anything other than humans. And of course, the unfinished pieces are a must. I have many now staring at me too. Here, I didn't need to use other artists' drawings as a reference anymore. But that helped me a lot in my beginnings, because you can easily tell where to shade and where to add highlights, for example. It's usually obvious in the drawing but could be tricky in a real picture. For this drawing, I remember following a tutorial on Snapchat for an artist that I used to follow, and I showed it to her and she was so nice about it. Here, let's just ignore my weird eye phase. I remember that this wasn't easy to draw because her head wasn't straight, and that's harder. And here I was experiencing new things. Again, I realized I don't want to draw anything other than portraits. Okay, finally, here's where I keep the good stuff. You know, when I look at my old drawings now, I see tons of mistakes, and I feel silly that I used to think they looked good. But I constantly keep reminding myself that they were good. They were great at that time, and it's okay not to feel the same way anymore. But of course, I still love them and I still show them to everybody, and I'm still proud of them, but not because they are professionally drawn, but because they are the reason I am where I'm at today. And I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. This Dylan O'Brien portrait was a breaking point for me because it actually looked like him for the first time. And I was developing a new obsession with movies and TV shows at that time, so whenever I like a character or a person, I just draw them, which later became the main inspiration or the main motive for me to draw. Now, I hate drawing someone I don't know or someone I don't like because I guarantee it won't come out as good as someone I'm drawing out of love. This Zayn Malik drawing was so big I couldn't take one good picture of it. I want to draw him again now, just because of my poor photography skills. This RDJ slash Iron Man drawing was the first drawing I made after getting new art supplies, including a Jelly Roll pen. So Iron Man looked so good with that pen, it's still one of my favorite drawings of all times. And here I remember trying a new method for sketching and I really liked it, except it wasn't that good, so I never used it again, but I really want to draw Sherlock again. And here I started using measurements to get accurate proportions, and I kept using this method until I perfected freehand sketching. And you know, I had to draw Angelina Jolie again just to correct the wrongs. I wanted to try tiny drawings, and it was harder than I expected, but I really liked it, so now I just draw a tiny drawing whenever I feel like it. Is it obvious that I was obsessed with Marvel back then and still am? I never do that anymore, but this was an Instagram challenge that I didn't even get to be a part of. Tom Holland portrait was the first time I used the grid method with. I was so surprised by how faster sketching suddenly got and yet accurate, and I finally dared to compare my drawing with the reference, but it wasn't 100% accurate. But here, however, it matched perfectly. So for me, this drawing and after that was the other level. Kat Graham here actually posted my drawing on her Instagram and Twitter. She is so nice. Can you tell what my new obsession was in late 2019? I was watching Supernatural around that time and I couldn't stop drawing the cast. I kept having fun editing my drawings with a reference, and I was so proud of his detailed outfit. And this wasn't originally red. I don't know why I did that after months of drawing it. I really don't like how I did her hair here. I think I could have done better. Now this is my favorite drawing of all times. It's on my bedroom's wall and it's one of the hardest things I've done. Drawing 3 people is a lot harder than drawing one. Even though now when I look at it, I think I wish I used charcoal back then because it would have looked better, but I don't care for that. I love it so much and I'm so proud of it. And as I said before, I kept experiencing tiny drawings every once in a while. This one came out so cute and it's also on my bedroom's wall. Here I tried drawing Whitebeard for the first time and it was so challenging but yet so fun. This Harry Styles portrait was the first time I used graphite powder for shading instead of normal pencils, and I was shocked by how good that was and how realistic and smooth the result is, and I've been shading with powder ever since. The point of this video is to inspire you to keep drawing, keep practicing, and you'll reach the goal you want. It's easier than you think, to be honest. This was the first time I mixed charcoal with graphite. I got charcoal while I was drawing that. I don't know why it doesn't look that good on camera, but here's the original drawing. And I actually did draw him before, but I don't have the drawing anymore. And I tried drawing on black paper and I loved it so much. It's so fun. This was the first time I used charcoal for the whole drawing, and I used the same reference just to compare the two drawings. And I'm so glad I did. It feels so good to see the difference. I drew this portrait of Zendaya here on YouTube step by step, so you can check it out if you want to learn how to draw a portrait from scratch. And this is what I'm currently working on, or one of them.